Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to the Hills of Tuscany and another episode of the VIP series, Season 2 here, as we work hard in Italy. For those who are new, the VIP Order Manager mod is kind of what is the focus and what demands my attention in this series. And right now, we have 2 items left, fried potatoes and tomatoes, to complete level 6. We have been working on level 6 for quite some time, getting ahead on level 7. So at this point, what I will be doing, and I had talked about this at the end of the last episode, I'm going to be focusing on getting the triticale taken care of, and we will see where we're at that point. So I'll see you in a bit. So made my first delivery back over to the silo of a full load of triticale, and go ahead here and fill myself up and get myself repaired, and then head on back to the field. We're done with field 6 and already working on field 9. Back here in June, so I have just finished up harvesting up on field 8. I finished planting this field now with spelt, as you can see up in the precision farming box. So I knew I probably wouldn't need too much more of the triticale. We'll see where we totally end up, but I think we're going to end up about 125,000, so we're going to need about 50,000 more, which I think I might be able to get off of field 8. I might be pushing that a little bit, but it might be worth it, because I think I'm going to need almost everything I can get with the spelt. I don't know that I'm going to actually do field 1 this time. I think I am going to stay away from that. That took a lot of work to harvest, as it always does. Absolutely took a ton of work to plant, and time is something we have, an abundance of, and so not a huge need right now to do that, because basically at this point we're going to have everything else planted. And I think I might go ahead and, I'm heading up this way, but I have had the recording going the entire time that I've been working today. We're over 3 hours, coming up on 3.5 hours. Once again, as I've talked about, just the amount of effort needed to gather enough information or enough footage for even one episode is substantial. But this is all just, I guess it's 6 and 7, but still. It's interesting how patchy that looks for what it did to the fertilizer. I wonder if it's because it's different. I didn't look at the other field, honestly, before I planted it. But wow, yeah, that is interesting how that laid out. But it's not using a ton of seed. I had refilled when I had to go get more fertilizer for the other field. I got about 60-70% of the other field done. I think this is going to start like right here in the corner. So we're just going to do the best we can, but once again, to not take a really, really long time, I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then I'm going to go head over and get the remainder of triticale that is sitting finished up in field 8 over there. So the harvester is waiting, but as you can see, we have rain coming, so that's been part of the rush this morning and into the early afternoon, obviously, is to try to beat the rain, which I did for the harvest, so at least I didn't have to delay any for that. And then in the meantime, wow, so this is already around here. So you can start to see, just how small these fields are. But I'm hoping, because I think this field's about double. I don't remember. I'm sure I looked at it at some point. But if I get 20,000, or 20,000, if I get 2,000 more off of this field here, I'll have hit 20,000. Anything more than that, obviously, we'll have a little bit more. So let's see where this ultimately ends up. Alright, so we're at 20. So, in essence, 20,000. between 20 and 21. So that's where I'm a little worried that maybe that field won't quite be big enough. But I think it's worth a shot because I don't know that I have enough. And so either way, I'm probably going to be having to replant something. But worst case, you know, maybe I replant this little field 6 in triticale and get the other 10,000 or whatever. Oh, and the rain is just starting. I mean, obviously the harvest was done. I was just coming to pick it up. It's not as big a deal, but definitely, whoa. I was watching what was happening, and I created a problem. Alright, a little bit of dancing around. We got off the fence. Never fun. I think I got like 10,000 or something of triticale off of there, because it is pretty prolific. We'll be curious to see if spelt is similar, but because of that, knowing what I got off that field, which, like I said, was 20, I need more than double off that field next to it, so I don't know that it's more than twice as big, but hopefully it is, and then, we'll take it from there if that's the case. But we'll see where we're ultimately at here once I dump this in. Again, I think this now takes us to 9 different crops. Good news is the silo hasn't filled up yet. Knock on wood, hopefully that won't happen now. But there you go, we're already at 122, so as I said, I knew we'd be kind of at 125. So almost exactly 50,000 more that we need right now. Alright, so we're going to leave that there. I have filled it up, repaired it. I think I talked about that. Alright, and he's probably getting right to the point where he can stop. And this is where it becomes a little bit of a debate here. I tend to clean up the corners because it's just sloppy and messy. But what I will be doing is I'm going to keep going ahead here. Get the rest of these fields planted up, and again, the field next to me, the plan is to get that in triticale, then I will get the one next to it in spelt, and everything else in spelt. We're going to have spelt, 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 spelt. Again, I'm going to leave that alone, and we'll see where that ends up. And we've got spelt here, but if I can get these others all planted before the end of the day, and that's part of the challenge here. Of how much effort do I spend to get all these little quarters, because yes, it'll be good, it takes time, and with running at 5x speed, so I don't know that I'm going to worry about those pieces in the middle. I'm sure I'll get some of them. I don't want to spend all kinds of time running around here, because I'm going to have to disconnect now, go get fertilizer, those type of things. I guess I won't have to disconnect because fertilizer's just laying down. So let's see, maybe we'll do this one. So I'll get, bigger swaths for sure. But I think I'll go down and then I'll go handle field probably 11 and 9 right away. And then at least if nothing else, I have big fields ready to go next time. Although I probably should, no, I'll do that. I was going to say, I almost feel like I want to get the triticale in for sure, so that, hopefully I'll have enough or know right away that those are ready to go. But I think after field 9 and 10, I'll probably come back up here before I go back down to field 22. But I think field 11 will go very quickly. It's just the hill that is always a bit of a fun bit there. But in any event, I will see you in a bit. So I'm finishing up here on the triticale field, and you can see a little bit of a problem here. It looks like some of the fields, and I've gotten out and walked them, and the fertilization reports the way that it looks on the map. So it doesn't seem that this map plays well with precision farming. Now, the confusing part is Field 6 over there, which is one of the fields that was planted with triticale as well. Well, as I went to look at the map, I figured out my problem. So, just be aware, if you have outdated data, that is what can happen. So you can see it appears to now be painting in appropriately, but that probably means I've got a lot of crop here that is not great for fertilizer. So I may need to run over these fields with some fertilizer, which is not great, but if it's one thing I need to do, that'll be okay. Now, Field 8 will be good, but Field 9 was another one that acted that way. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I could fix things, because obviously I don't want a low yield and then have to spend hours replanting and harvesting fields if I can avoid it. But you can see here, it does appear to be appropriately fertilizing now that I fixed that problem. But what I was going to share is, I've still got, so if you go here, I still have 8 and 22 to do. Everything else has been planted that I'm planning on planting. And again, this is triticale, so this one absolutely needs to be fertilized, because the last thing I want is not getting my 50,000 liters here because I'm losing tons to fertilization. So, and I'm going to touch this field up and all of that with the planting and in the corners and all that. Like, I'm going to get every little inch of this field to grow. Spelt I'm a little, less worried about, but I'd love to be able to finish with this one field. But that is going to be the plan for the planting. I think I can get it all done before midnight. That should be possible, because I'll be able to take something else around to fertilize. Yeah, so that was a little disappointing, but I'm glad I discovered that, and I'm glad I was able to share with you what happened there, inadvertently. But I was just popping in here to give you that update. Sorry, I'm banging into the microphone. And that gets you up to speed of where we're at, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, I am back a little bit before midnight here, so not a lot of extra time, but got kind of a sloppy planting done. Just didn't get every ounce of every last field, but it'll get us some spelt, and we'll see how close we get. But the goal was more get done today than get done correctly. The other thing I've been able to do is I was able to jump in as we went by the fried potatoes, realized that it had stopped production there, so we have 3,500 liters of potatoes out, 5 pallets right now, and it's starting up for another group, and we've got one more set of vegetable fat left to use, and so hopefully between all of that we're gonna get what we need, but we may or we may not. So it's gonna be a bit interesting, is for certain, where we're gonna be at. We'll make it work one way or the other. But I had to come back, get some more fertilizer. But at this point, every field is planted, and I will be going ahead and now moving forward, trying to get myself to the point where level 6 is ready to hopefully be serviced. We've got a lot of tomatoes to get and a lot of fried potatoes, but we're either going to get there before harvest or we're going to be harvesting. So, and if we're going to be harvesting, maybe we're just going to have to call it and say, hey, this is what we've done. Whoops. I forgot, as I'm out in the field, I do that, but in this case, I want to be here and then disconnect from that and kind of leave it there. With that, that's the situation, and I'll be back. Alright, well, if I got it right, 15 pallets of potatoes. Got it done. Again, Just need to take it over here next door. We don't quite have the crops done growing, but at least we finally got this thing done. So all kinds of fun there. And there we go, fried potatoes. And as long as we don't run into some weird thing where it won't leave again. And we've got some up front here, I guess. Let's see. Alright, the most important thing, it's green. So all we have left are the tomatoes. Alright, so I'm here filling it up. We might have more than the full amount here, but again, that's only going to be 15,000, so we're still a long, long way away. So the tomatoes are the long pole in the tent, because that's all that's left. So yeah, between pulling up, a few pallets dropped here in the back. So I'm sure we had another, 1,000 or something, but we'll see what everything ends up at when we go to deliver. Alright, so you can see we've got 15,500-ish. Again, it's always a little bit different amount here and there. Should be okay there. And there we go. But, we needed over 30,000. So we have got some time to wait for the tomatoes. I suppose the good thing is, though, that I can now take the truck over and we can just at least have it over there. So there you go, 14,511. So I'm going to set that 511. I might have had, no, I put too many. I thought I did. Like I put 145,000 or whatever it was. Yeah, at this point I'll be able to be here, and as things go I can just as I'm coming by to make sure the greenhouse is filling and all, we can just keep it moving. We're gonna have to move this lettuce in a little bit, but might not have to happen before the tomatoes are done. We'll see. The tomatoes do grow faster. So just popping in for a brief bit to just get you up to date of where things are at and where we're going. So you can see I've got another full trailer of spelt here. So going to deliver. We're obviously in winter now. Got snow on the ground in various places. Obviously the way the ground is masked in some cases doesn't always cover it, so I guess here by the silo we're not able to get snow. There's no snow overlay or anything like that. But where we have ended up, so we already have what we need of spelt. This is all extra. We only needed, I think, 145, 143, but we need 176,000 of triticale. So you can see we're just under 14,000 that we need. So I'm going to need one more field planted. I have to go empty the harvester over at field 77. So it is done, but could not take any more grain than what I had. So I'm going to empty that, and then I am going to take this tractor, get things repaired, because you can see it's pretty worn out running around, and then I will go and plant a field that I think is going to get me 14,000 liters of triticale, but we're still not quite there with the tomatoes. We're close. We're probably 2,000 or 3,000 away. So I'm going to keep going along, and next time we'll probably see you at the tomato delivery. So doing the last bit of touch-up here up at this field, I've decided to do field 11 for a couple of reasons. It should be the easiest, both to plow, harvest, and whatever. It's large enough that I'm probably not too worried. I'm probably going to get 20,000 off of this. I just don't want to be slightly short. I was debating doing like 8 over there, but 14,000 I think is going to be really close. And so the last thing I'd want is be 200-300 short. We should be good there. I am still waiting on the tomatoes. So at this point, other than I haven't harvested the triticale, like the tomatoes will be done before the triticale is ready to harvest. So I will not be at the situation where I literally have everything 100% ready to go for level 7 by the time the tomatoes and therefore level 6 are done. So that is incorrect. It's kind of sloppy as... Again, I have this set so I can, if I have to go refill, I can just pull away. But yeah, this ends up being a pretty good spot for leaving that, as opposed to some of the other places in the center of the yard I found. Because really the only thing in the way here is if I have anything to do with the cows, and yes, I've got to traverse from the north fields, you know, down, but there's enough of a swing over there. You know, I'm still debating selling some of this stuff off. I'm not really using it at this point. It was helpful early on. It came with the farm, but at this point it's almost in the way. Like, in theory, I don't remember if that's a bale store or what that thing is. Well, I may not have known at all. I've never used it. But, you know, I've got plenty of storage buildings there. In any event, I'm just talking because all I'm doing is waiting. I was looking at this too. Obviously, we have all this honey here, which someday may be useful again. I somewhat hope not, because honey's as big a pain as anything else to move around. But at this point, I'm probably going to come over here, enjoy the afternoon. Although, you know, I'm in my coat already, so I'm warm. Although, again, the snow did melt since we last spoke. So I don't know how cold it gets in Tuscany. Hey, the mountains aren't glowing. I just realized from the one time I woke up, and so it was just a weird thing of the sun. Maybe I'll sit on this bench over here. Never use that. So, you know, well, no, I'm kind of standing on it, but there's no way to sit. But let's pretend we're sitting. There. Crouching. But now I'm lower than the bench, but never mind. I'm just wasting time. I'll see you in a bit. All right. So I am here. I need every one of these to be present, because I need, whatchamacallit, I don't want to start auto load until I'm absolutely certain. So, you know what, I'm going to clear this lettuce out. So we should be good. Alright, I've turned on auto load. But I don't know, sometimes if I just have to move. There we go. So we are loading tomatoes. And we are limited to what we theoretically need, so I can leave some behind. In the event the VIPs want more, I have every last liter of tomatoes that I possibly could ever need sitting here waiting for them, because I just do not want to do more on these greenhouses than I need to. They are brutal. There we go. I don't know why it's such a challenge. Alright, looks like maybe now we finally got kind of a truck length of tomatoes going, so that should move things along. But I'm going to get my 14,511, which I'm 99.9% confident I have here. I think it's 15,000 when it's full like this. Alright, there we go. So we got a little bit left. If I can be careful coming out of here, maybe I won't move them and hit them. You know, the big question is, do I have enough lettuce to be ready to go? But we'll worry about that next time. But at this point, I did think, for all the waiting you've been doing on level 6 and so forth, I will go ahead before the end of the episode. I'm going to deliver these, and we're going to take a look at what the next level, what level 8 that shows up appears, and that will be it. But I was half debating for a while, like, well, maybe I'll just deliver the tomatoes and stop, and then we'll start right away, but I owe you the ending, so we're going to get you that. So let me get these delivered, and I'll be right back. And there we go. I do not recall it being this complicated to get in here, but clearly it is. Now, if I somehow end up 1 liter short, I might scream. But hopefully we don't have any of that kind of a problem. There we go. Done and done. Whoops. We got rid of the interface. 215,600 pounds. So current VIP order completed. It's a little easier to see on the board, so let's go back. Oh, and actually this just shows us level 7, so never mind. I'm like, oh no, we have more lettuce. Oh no, we have more lettuce. Alright, so we've got 6 items. We have a couple production type things, table and metal. The only crop we have is rye. We're going to need a hunk of milk. And we're also going to need butter, so milk drives that. So, a bit of a challenge, but nothing crazy. So, and we're having butter going into the potato processing. So the nice thing is, on the one hand, we're not going to get any money for this right away, but the potential nice side of it is then if I need butter for some sort of fried potato product or some sort of potato processing product later, I have it. And again, it'll be 209,600 pounds that we get from that. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm actually probably... I don't know what I'm doing. So while I'm wrapping it up, let me go around this tree, because I know I can't make that turn. I always have gone around this way. I wonder if this person really planned this, the map designer. Like, well, if I do this, they can get a truck in here between the buildings, and, you know, even though they can't fit, or if this was just kind of a happy accident. There's nothing happy about what's happening right now, but... But it's like, did they leave enough room to maneuver? Maybe they were that forward-looking, but I don't know. Like, make it challenging enough. Go ahead. Oh, okay, you're turning. You are really annoying. Can you not see there's a truck coming? I hope I scraped your car. Clearly, I'm very unforgiving. So, in any event, I'm going to, I guess, park the truck over here. I don't know, I'll put it in front of the store. I was like, yeah, I'll put it over on the field, but I don't want to do that. Because initially I was honestly just going to leave it on the street. But we'll then just have traffic. Because I think what I'll do is, I think I'll deliver the clothes first. Because I know I have that, and I can get that done. And then we've got, you know, olives and lettuce. So that'll be how we start out. We'll just be doing a lot of our deliveries, because at this point we are waiting for the triticale to grow to be able to then see what level 9 brings us. Hopefully this has been as intriguing and interesting for you as it was for me. We have peaked up over 1 million again. I just noticed that. That's probably not going to last long. I did do the major tractor repair already and so forth, so there is nothing that's going to take things down at that point. Should be in pretty good shape with that. And looking forward to tackling level 7 and trying to figure out what to do in level 8. The cows have me a little bit worried. I think we had to deliver 60,000 liters of milk before, and that was a challenge in and of itself. But again, I'm getting into a lot of analysis that I'm going to have to redo again in the next episode. So for now, as we kind of head into the afternoon, once again, maybe I get a little bit of an early day today, but I'm going to sign off. And if you've enjoyed this episode and are enjoying this series, if you have not dropped a like on the video, please consider that. If you are not a subscriber, please consider that. Who would want to miss any of the excitement that is the Hills of Tuscany and everything else that comes out on the channel to keep you interested and entertained and, you know, give you some background noise into your life, if nothing else. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing that. And with that, I will see you next time.